I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Bangor, Bellarina, Benburb, Lisbon City, Ballantoy, Pomeroy, Brushing, So Pretty, Lisnaskey, Tandergee, Money, Glass Points, Pass, Killalay, Monterey, Sign Mills, Fork Hill, Helens Bay, Kilray, Donegal, Mullaghmore, Ockapoka, Firemountown, Akadooey, Draperstown. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Ballymena, Armoy, Belcoo, Aughnacloy, Kerry Bridge, Carrador, Castle Dawson, Moneymore, Carryduff, Coleraine, Cookstown, Lisbane, Enniskillen, Derrylin, Jonesboro is where I've been, Cullyhanna, Tobermore, Ballyhalbert, Abbashaw, Brookborough, Drummondess, North, South, East, West. I've been everywhere.
Tell you what, there's some great records coming out of this country at the moment. That's a young 18-year-old guy called Paul Shevlin. You may know he was in the studio one time a couple of months back. He started university. But that's all I know about him. He hasn't told me much, and that's a new single called Lift Up Your Head. There's a couple of more tracks on that. I must listen to them. Isn't that great? Do you hear that? Do you like that?
Not really.
Thanks.
It's all right.
I know.
It's all right.
I know. There's a website here, www.paulshevlin, PAULSHEVLIN.com, if you're interested. See, there's a real genuine talent coming along, not like the people that you go and see. You know, washed out country singers. But this is a man, he's only 18 years old. He came into the studio in Belfast. You went there, of course. You don't travel, Friday for economical reasons. And economic reasons, may I say. He came in, he played the piano, and I was stunned by his talent. And many times I have been stunned by the talent of young people in Northern Ireland, much more so. And I keep saying this because, there was a time about 10 years ago when there was a big flowering of music in Dublin in particular, and a lot of guys coming out of Dublin. The only thing coming out of Dublin now is people who are whinging about everything. That's what they used to say about us. And up here, all the talent is coming out of here, and people aren't whinging about anything because we've been whinging for 30 years, and we realised there was no point. So now we can sit down and... Hello, good morning. Thank you for welcoming me to the programme. Sorry, I just started off on one there.
Yeah, no.
The number to ring if you want to
I
call.
got.
What?
See, it's all very well for you, but you see, we get calls long before you say a word. And the first phone call I got was the cancellation of a table quiz in Tandragee District Hall tomorrow night.
Well, we must make sure that people know about this.
You know
Is
what
there
I
any more
mean?
information about that?
No.
What is that? Is that it?
The guy seemed rather upset. He says, "Will you make sure Gerry announces that?"
But you
at
see,
the
this is
table quiz in
this is
Tandragee
his life.
District Hall.
Yeah, a lot of people out there who lead, kind of lives that are different from us.
So-
See, we might think that a table quiz in Tandragee is of little importance, but there are people in Tandragee, it's life and death to them. And is that all you have to say about that?
Yeah.
Maybe you should repeat that for the benefit of the people who asked you to do it.
No, I'm too emotional.
I think you skimmed over it.
The
come on.
table quiz in Tandragee District Hall tomorrow night has been cancelled.
Due to
The inclement weather.
inclement weather. That's it. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme, indeed, seriously, any messages of that nature, because we know there's a serious bit of weather going on out there. I mean,
We've had it for 2 weeks.
I know, but it's
Welcome to the real world, Mr.
No, but I
Anderson.
only started to notice it today.
But I think it's going away.
No, it's bad today.
I know, but I think today will be... I think this is the final hurrah.
People's cars are seizing up on them. I was talking to a young lady this morning. She couldn't start a car. It seized
Couldn't
up
get
the
in the big
engine.
car.
Oh, you can get in okay.
No, I couldn't. I had to get the kettle.
I know you have to get the kettle, yeah, but I
Yes.
mean,
Get
there
the
are
door
cars
open.
that you can't get in even with a kettle. I just smashed the windscreen. Far better, just throw the kettle through it. Anyway, any messages at all, any kind of cancellations or anything like that, please feel free to use this programme. We're not like Nolan's people. We don't pretend that we took your call and tried to ring you back. The number to ring, see that slur there? 08459 555 678. I know how this thing works.
Did you notice how quiet...
Phones are jammed, the phones are jammed.
Did you notice how quiet he was yesterday morning?
It was very quiet.
Up here in Foyle.
Chastened.
Didn't even say cheerio.
No, he didn't. No, that's
Didn't come in to say
ignorance.
cheerio, lads.
Ignorance.
I'm away now.
That's
No.
what he's like. He's like that. He's like a bull in a china shop, except there's no china shop. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. Email address is jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and the text messaging service is 81771. Well, tell me this. How did our ghost get on last night?
Did you not see it last night?
No, I missed it. I was otherwise engaged.
I was hoping you would have been watching it.
Tell me what's going on.
I think it featured a very good friend of ours who will remain nameless.
Well, where was it?
Well, I'll tell you where it was and see if you can spot the person. It was in Ardglass Golf Club.
Gerry Kelly.
He got it in one. Yes.
So is Ardglass Golf Club haunted?
Well, apparently so. And Big Gerry is I think...
He used to be the
2 years ago-
captain there, didn't he?
2 years ago, I think he was captain.
Yes.
But it was very, very good. I must say, last night, it showed potential up until they went into the snooker room of the club. Then it all fell down. There's one story where one of the bar stewards or someone, one of the people who worked there anyway, it was a girl, and she was saying that she was closing the door one night.
Yes.
Going down these stairs down in the bowels of the building or something. She wanted to close the door that led out into the car park or whatever. And she was closing the door. She felt a hand on her shoulder.
Oh, sounds like Kelly.
But this, no, what do you see?
Where else?
This voice and this breath very close to your ear.
That's Kelly. That's him, yeah. What about you, love?
Any
Shall we
chance of
drink?
another drink?
What's we drink, love? You lock up, look, and I'll pour
And
them.
then the may have been the club steward, I'm not sure. He was saying that one night he was outside and he was bringing in beer kegs, and it was late at night, and he felt there was someone in the darkness watching him
Beside the kegs?
beside the kegs.
That's Kelly again. Guarding the drink.
And then he felt this person touch him as well, too.
Oh, where did he touch him?
I don't know, we need to ask him. But then they were saying that, and it was good. Those wee stories were good, and they were very, very well told.
Yes.
And you were saying, very believable.
There might be something in this.
There is something in this.
Yes.
And then they started to tell the story about the snooker room.
Yes.
And they were saying that the members would be sitting downstairs having a drink, and they would hear the clink of the snooker balls.
That's Kelly again. And okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm not taking this seriously.
And there'd be no one in the snooker room, yet the balls were being moved about the table.
That's him, yeah.
So this guy, this Andy boy, you know the guy who
Oh, no, Specky boy, English boy.
Yes.
Hello.
Who chases down these ghosts. By the way,
I'm sorry, I gave you a medium.
another thing it may point to Kelly as well too. When they first went into the clubhouse,
Yes.
this power, this force was directing them towards the gents' toilets.
Really?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So, and the gents' locker room, you see. So it was all happening down in the gents. But anyway, this guy, Andy, decides that he would like a game of snooker.
Knowing all the while that the balls are being moved announced to him.
And
yes?
he decides to play a game of snooker on his own.
All right.
Very
Oh, no
unusual.
cameras there.
No, but no one else with him.
No cameras at all.
No cameras.
Oh, he's
nothing.
telling you that
he's telling us. He said, telling his mates, I decided to have a game of snooker last night, and I went into the snooker room, and I says, "Hello, I'm Andy. I'm here to play a game of snooker."
I'm not a psychic, I'm a medium.
Right? And he says, I just by chance I brought this little, the little recording device that records the ghosts.
Yes.
You know this little thing? He said, I brought this with me just by chance, and I put it in the corner of the room. And he says, listen now, and you can hear the clink, clink. You know, the balls, Andy playing snooker on his own.
Yeah.
And then you hear this wee voice saying,
Hello, Andy! Hello, Andy!
the ghost said hello to him.
The red's behind the black. You're snookered, Andy. You need a little more English.
After that, it just went. To me, I'd lost the program then. That was it. That was it finished. So I just couldn't. I couldn't take it seriously.
I can see what you
Up until then, it was good.
It was okay,
good.
and then
Yes,
they
it was
lost
good.
you.
Aye,
I can understand
But
that.
good shot, Andy, or hello,
Good
Andy.
shot. Let me do that ghost again. Oh no! I hope it doesn't look as if we're denigrating the program in any way.
Not at all.
Gentleman writes to me and he said, Aidan, I went out for a walk along the river embankment last evening. The very thing that I'm advising the fat boy to do. You see, the fat boy is so tightly wound up. I mean, we had an opportunity to observe him on Monday and Tuesday. Mm-hmm. He's going to explode soon. And it's not just his weight. He's too tense, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He's far too tense.
He is.
Did you see him walking?
He's a guy not enjoying his work.
Do you notice when he walks very, very quickly?
Yes. There's aggravation. There's aggression. That's the word. Aggression.
He
And
just
and
wants to
stride.
thump somebody.
He does. Yes. There's aggression.
And preferably a
written all over him.
politician, yeah. But I'm worried about him. I went out for a walk along the riverbank last evening. It was soft snow underfoot, no wind, very low traffic noise, and a beautiful evening. But there were only about 8 people walking, and 5 of them were not originally from this part of the world. It appeared almost eerie, and I wondered where all the evening walkers from Derry were. Then it occurred to me that they were probably at home preparing their complaints about the DRD, City Council, ice on pavements, and everything else that would give reason for a moan about the present weather conditions instead of going out and enjoying themselves. What is positive about it? These missives will be for the biggest show in the country, which has been afflicting us since last Monday. You see, these are people in the Northwest who've had to listen to Nolan for this last 2 days. But there's a valid point here. A lot of people are not enjoying the weather. Did I tell you about the fellow who screamed at me the other day?
The fella in the car, you walked in front of him.
No. Another fella screamed at me.
No.
Now, I was coming out of a well-known supermarket in Derry, Londonderry on Tuesday. Let's call it Sainsbury's.
Right. Okay.
Right? And do you know there's a little traffic, there's traffic lights out onto the main road?
Yes.
Okay? And it's a main road. And everything was iced up. Really iced up. And, if you put on your brakes, your car would just keep going. You see? So people were being very, very careful. Right, so there weren't too many cars on the road. I'm coming out of the supermarket that we will call Sainsbury's, and I'm coming up to the light. Right?
Where are you? You're joining the main road.
I'm joining the main
Okay,
road.
coming out of the car park, yeah.
So I'm coming out of the car park. So I'm just about to get to the lights, and suddenly, do you know when it says stop? But does it go amber then? No, see when it's green. Does it go amber then?
It goes green and amber, red.
Yeah, right.
No,
Well,
green, amber, red, then red and amber, green.
see, I don't know because I'm colourblind. I just have to guess.
No, green, amber, red.
Anyway, let me suffice it to say that as I was within 10 yards of the traffic lights, they were beginning to change to stop. Okay?
So you were on the amber light.
I was on the amber light, and I'm clipping along, not going too fast, but, not dawdling either.
Yeah.
Because we have to go a certain speed so the ice doesn't get you. So I'm going along, and I say, now, I'm 10 yards from this traffic light here. It's going to go to stop now in a minute.
Yes.
Now, if I put on the brakes now, I'm going to go all over the place.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll just go on, right? So by the time...
Through a red light?
No, by the time I reached the light, it had just changed to red. And do you know the way there's a kind of
You
a...
stopped?
No, I didn't stop because I was icing. So I decided to go straight across the road.
Oh, naughty boy.
Straight across the road. And do you know the way there's a little kind of cushion there between the red on one side and the green on the other?
That's your red and amber.
Yeah, well, you see, there was
Don't be an amber gambler.
Well, I was. Anyway, there was a guy on the other side, and I could see him looking at me, right? And I'm going across the road. Now, it's a red light, but they weren't actually supposed to go for about I figured out another 5 seconds before I got across, before the red went. What did he do? He gunned the car. He gunned it on amber, right? Gunned it on amber and went for me. And I had a brake, and I slid to the left-hand side. And he aimed at me. And then he put down the window, and he went...
He did right. He did right. I would say there's more to that story than meets the eye. I would like to hear his version of it.
Well, do you know what I did?
I say you sailed through a red light.
Yes, I did. I just told you I did.
Yes, I know, but I would say it was red and you could have stopped.
I couldn't have stopped.
You could have stopped.
But you know what annoyed him most than anything else? No. And this is what I do. What was my reaction to a man screaming at me like that?
You waved to him. You smiled at him.
I smiled and I gave him 2 fingers.
Oh, he did not.
I did.
No, you did not. I know
did.
you did. I know you
I
didn't.
did.
I know you did.
I did, and he was so angry, and he tried to get out of the car. And the people behind him were going, because they were all angry too, and he had to go on, but he wanted to hit me. And I said to myself, I wish he'd got out of that car because I was ready for a good ding
Were
dong.
you?
Oh, yeah. I'm like that, there's a side of me.
No,
that you
I
don't
would
know
say
about.
you were at fault there.
Of course I was at fault. So you can't enjoy yourself unless you ask. And a question has been asked this week. Now, do you ever listen? This is true. Now, this is a serious point. Why does Northern Ireland have the second highest rate for the use of antidepressants in Europe? I think it's because they're prescribed from the doctor and you can get on the DLA. A question, and I think listening to the biggest show in the country might be a contributing factor. People should shut up with the moaning, lift a shovel, clear their own areas, clear their own paths and areas of those who cannot clear their own because of health reason. Make the best of what you can instead of sitting in the house, ringing Nolan, ringing the likes of me, ringing you. Do people ring you about the weather, about the footpaths? Do they?
Yeah.
People, instead of ringing Sarah Brett, instead of bringing everybody,
I
well,
would
you just
say-
get a shovel, get out there, clear your footpaths, say, what about you, love? Are you all right? Do you need a hand?
There's a lot
Never
of
mind
people-
these Connor Murphys with the big chins going...
There's a lot of people doing that in Derry.
Well, they
Let me
should
tell
do
you.
it.
Well, they're
Everybody should
doing
do it.
that. They're doing that, looking after their own.
Looking after their own.
Well, it's all happening here. They're doing it.
And then I get another email which says, Gerry, please tell everyone snowed in, especially pensioners, to on no account clear snow from footpaths or doorsteps. If you do so, you create a skating rink and you can slip and get injured. It is far safer to walk on deep snow which grips your feet. Right? So what the person is saying there is, yes, this is true, but if you clear your own path, then put salt on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we
what's
all
so
did that years and years ago. So the first thing in the snow was your mother handed you a shovel and away you went. Everyone went out and cleaned away everyone cleared the front of their house.
And people don't do that anymore because they're afraid somebody's going to claim money off them.
But you see, it's the government's fault. If you slip, it's hard luck.
Pussies.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning, lads. Nolan's neighbours lucky. All that hot air. They must be snow-free. We have the same weather in Iraq. Mostly sunny and Shiite. Did you get that? Bit of humour there from Iraq. And someone... Oh, listen. Ken sent me an email.
Did he?
He's accused me of stealing the radio in the kitchen.
Oliver wants you.
Where is he?
He's in one.
Stealing
the radio.
Yeah, he said, where is the radio in the kitchen? We have a little kitchen up here and there's a radio on it. There's a DAB radio. You see, he didn't think he accused me of doing it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Oh, dear. Listen, could you put off your radio by any chance?
There's a radio on somewhere. Hold on. I get away from it.
Wow. It's like Doctor Who here. How's that?
How's that?
That's better, yeah. Where are you, Mars or somewhere? Where are you?
I'm on Planet Crack, on the Crack Theatre in Killale.
Planet Crack. All right, then. Okay, well, what's going on down there? Are you snowed in?
We're not quite, Gerry. We're looking forward to better weather at the weekend.
Good, yes.
And it's beginning to clear, and we're looking forward to a good weekend. We have a woman coming up here on Saturday night, a woman called Mary Coughlin.
Oh, for
one of
God's
the
sake.
finest blues
Yeah.
jazz singers in the country.
Yeah.
And she's appearing here at Crack at 8 o'clock on Saturday evening.
On Saturday night, yeah.
So we just, in case people thought maybe there was a chance it might have been called off, certainly not. We're going to forge ahead and bring Mary up.
Well, nothing's going to be called off on Saturday because
No, it shouldn't be.
as far as Frank Mitchell and all those other people are concerned, it'll be over by Friday. You see, people look at this snow and they say, oh, will it never go away? And what they forget is that all the temperature has to do is just rise about 5 degrees and it's gone in half an hour.
There it was gone, and we'll be nostalgic about it in 3 weeks'
That's
time.
right.
Do you remember the great snow?
Remember the snow? Oh, why didn't it come at Christmas when we really wanted it? No, it'll be all over by Friday, by Saturday. And in the Crack Theatre, you've got Mary Coughlin.
Mary Coughlin. Mary has a brand new album out called House of Ill Repute.
I know I have it. Yeah, it's a good...
Maybe you'll play a wee track from it.
If I'd known you were coming on here, I would have brought it down with me, but it's futile me trying to ask someone here to go and get it because they're not even listening. Okay, you'll have a great night on Saturday night, and I'm sure the weather, the weather, the way it is today on Saturday, will be but a distant memory.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Mary Coughlin, Crack Theatre, 8 o'clock, Saturday night.
Okay,
it's
then.
all on.
Excellent. Thank
Okay,
you.
Gerry.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
a million.
Kimmy Rhodes is on this programme on Friday, and what a lovely person she was, and what a great singer and guitar player and everything. And she's got an album out called Miracles on Christmas Day, so a number of people have asked me to play the first track on it, which is called Miracles on Christmas Day. This is it.
Weatherman says my wish is coming true.
This is called One More White Christmas. Sorry.
Got my eyes on cold grey skies. My heart set on you. I'll have all I could ask for pretty soon. One more white Christmas to remember every Christmas from now on. Silent snowflakes drifting down, make a blanket on the ground to warm our hearts and make the world look new. One more white Christmas, that will be the greatest gift for me, to keep forever when the day is through. One more white Christmas with you. It feels so good to have you here with me. To laugh and sing and It's everything we wanted it to be. One more white Christmas to remember every Christmas from now on. Silent snowflakes drifting down, make a blanket on the ground to warm our hearts and make the world look new. One more white Christmas, that will be the greatest gift for me, to keep forever when the day is through. One more white Christmas with you. One more white
Kimmy Rhodes, that's from her new Christmas album called Miracles on Christmas Day. I meant to play the first track, but by accident played the second track, which is no great disaster because the second track is even nicer than the first one. It's called One More Christmas, Kimmy Rhodes. People are concerned about people over the age of 60. These are trying times for the elderly. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman called Rory Glenn displays that kind of care and compassion, which is so sadly lacking in other countries, but alas, still remains here in our province. He says, they say we should look after our elderly pensioners in this cold weather. We should make the utmost effort to make sure that they're comfortable, warm, and indeed in possession of all that they need. So how are you coping? Do you need any milk? Or bread from the shop? No, I'm all right, thanks. I've got a young boy at home that gets me everything.
There's a man
I need.
in Craigavon looking to buy an accordion. It's a piano key accordion, if you could help him in any way. I think we may have talked to him before, didn't you?
That's a definition of a gentleman. You've heard that before. A man who can play the accordion but refrains.
That's right.
And the other one is the man who gets out of the bath to have a pee. That's the two definitions of a gentleman.
Tell me, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't what?
In a bath?
Pardon?
You in a bath?
What?
You wouldn't.
Wouldn't what?
Like, you know, would you just?
A gentleman does.
Of course,
A gentleman gets out of the
everyone
bath.
does.
What's the point? No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Wise up.
They don't.
That shocked me.
I know it shocked you because you have led a very sheltered life. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you that
You
I
wouldn't do that. Don't tell me you would do that.
I've done it.
You haven't.
I have. And what's more, took perverse pleasure out of it. There's nothing
I would say
better.
you're the sort of boy who would do it in the sea when you're in swimming.
Well, I see no reason
Would you?
not to.
Would you?
In the sea?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. And indeed, any red-blooded normal person would, because after all, there's plenty of it. The only reason why one would refrain in the bath is because of the limited amount of water.
Yes.
Now, I have to say that there's nothing as pleasurable as lying in a warm bath
Stop that.
and peeing.
Stop it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That's horrendous.
It's different with somebody else peeing, but the point is, it's okay. It's you. I mean, if you're in the desert,
I don't believe you.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm
Good job.
telling you,
Good job. The
Hugh
news is
Jordan will be
coming.
looking for you.
On 92 to 95 FM,
and 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
And at the BBC News Desk at 11 o'clock, this is Keith Burnside. The chairman of the Conservative Party in Northern Ireland says he's resigning from his post. Erwin Armstrong says he has not resigned from the party. It follows a deal between the Conservatives and the Ulster Unionists, which would see no Tory candidates in the Assembly elections and the UUP taking the Conservative whip at Westminster. Mr Armstrong says he's been told the Conservatives were going to field Stormont candidates, so the Secretary of State, Owen Paterson, must have done a U-turn.
He rang me up and said it had been agreed that we would be running candidates. In politics, you talk to your colleagues and you accept that's what they mean. In this case, somewhere that decision was changed and I wasn't consulted before it was changed.
A report into the death of a prisoner at Maghaberry last year has criticised the prison authorities for failing to implement changes recommended after a similar incident a year earlier. Our Home Affairs correspondent Vincent Kearney reports.
50-year-old John Gerry hanged himself in a cell at Maghaberry in August last year. An investigation into the circumstances of his death found a number of failings by staff who were supposed to be monitoring him. The report by the prisoner ombudsman also says the investigation revealed that recommendations made after the death of another prisoner, Colin Bell, in the summer of 2008 had still not been implemented at the time of Mr Derry's death. Polly McCabe says many of the problems identified appear to stem from wider issues related to leadership, management and the prison culture.
2 councils in the northwest have decided to start gritting pavements after the coldest December night in a decade. No agreement has been reached between the Local Government Association and the Road Service, but Belfast and Ballymena councils already work with the Department of Regional Development to salt their pavements. Derry City and Limavady councils will now do the same. To the latest weather, here's Cecilia Daly.
Bitterly cold today with widespread ice on many roads and pavements. Snow showers will continue for a while, especially in the north and west, but many places will be dry and bright. Temperatures will range from 2 Celsius in coastal areas to -2 degrees at best in more rural parts. There may be some freezing fog in places too. Severe frost and ice will return tonight.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Starting with Belfast, delays can be expected on the West Link from York Street toward the M1 as a lorry has broken down there. Elsewhere, we've had continued reports of icy conditions on the roads between Ucher and Ballygolly and on the Glenshane Pass, so police are advising motorists to drive with care in those areas. Public transport has also been badly affected by the weather. In Antrim, Omagh and Dungannon, buses are only servicing main roads and won't travel into local housing estates. Translink have informed us that delays can be expected to services across Northern Ireland throughout the day, particularly train services between Belfast Central Station and Larne Harbour, as well as the trains from Londonderry to Belfast. Laura McDade reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, is the prison service here fit for purpose? Another highly critical report on the death in Maghaberry. We'll have the prisoner ombudsman on live at 12 o'clock. The weather, it hasn't gone away, you know. Tell me how it's still affecting you. Too much drink, not enough hangovers. What is it about TV soaps and alcohol, and why are they all set in pubs? On the 30th anniversary of his death, we'll hear from the man who used to drive, John Lennon, and those wonderful birds back in our skies, soaring against the blue. Who would poison a golden eagle? That's all on Talkback at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. That's 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. Talkback coming up at 12 o'clock. Don't forget the number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. Email jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. You may not Twitter or Facebook. The text messaging service is 81771. You can Twitter and Facebook if you like, but I've resigned from all that kind of stuff. Life is too short to talk to people that you don't like. Anyway, there's an ongoing saga on this programme. There's a singer called Robert Earl Keane, and he's got a song called The Road Goes On Forever. I once had the definitive version of this song, which is just about the best live record ever made. And then, sadly, because I have no respect for anything, I lost it. And I cannot get the original recording. There are so many recordings of it. People keep sending it to me. Is this a definitive one? Is that the definitive one? And I've got one here, and it's called Live at the Ryman. This is nearly it. This is great, but it's not spectacular. It's fantastic, but it's not out of this world. It's pretty good, but it's not the one that I want. I don't think so anyway. Have a listen to yourself. It's quite long, but it really takes off in parts. But not like the first one.
At the old Jordan, she had a reputation as a girl who'd been around. Down Main Street at midnight, a brand new bag of cigs, a fresh wine hanging from her lips, a beer between her legs. She'd ride down to the river and meet all her friends. The road goes on forever and the party never ends.
This is about the best band in the world.
Son was 11 years older than the rest. He was going in the Navy. He couldn't pass the test, so he hung around town. He sold a little pot. The law guy went sunning. One day he got caught, but he was back in business. They set him free again. The road goes on forever, and the party never ends. Sonny's played 8-ball at the Joe where Cher was. Some dug out of town and put his hand up Cher's skirt. Sonny took his pool cue, laid drunk out on the floor, stuffed the dollar in tip jar, walked on out the door. She's running right behind him, reaching for his hand. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. They jumped to his pickup, Sonny jammed it down in gear. Sonny looked at Cher, let's get on out here. The stars are above them, the moon was in the east, the sun was setting on them. They reached Miami Beach, they got a hotel by the water, Port of Bombay Chin. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. They soon ran out of money, but Sonny knew a man. He knew some Cuban refugees hid down in contraband. Sonny met the Cubans, a house just out the road, with a briefcase full of money, pistol in his boot, the cards on the table, the law came busting in. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. The Cubans got the goodies, Sonny grabbed the jack. He broke the bathroom window and he climbed on out the back. Cher know the big up, the alley on the side. Well, old man Dave Sonny was reading him his rights. She stepped into the alley with a single shot 410. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. Portion of this. She watched my taillights disappear around the bend. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. The night shot at midnight just like it was before. 21 months later at the local grocery store. She buys a paper, a cold 6-pack of beer. That line's reading Sonny is going to the chair. She pulls back on Main Street in her new Mercedes Benz. The road goes on forever, the party never ends.
A functional mishap.
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame because that was really,
Yeah, it
really
was
warming
really.
up there.
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry about that.
Margaret Doherty in Garva's looking for a hostess trolley if you could get her one.
Hostess trolley.
Yes. Could you call it?
I'm
or-
sorry for laughing. It's just,
No,
I
good.
just got another mental picture there. Listen, I must apologise about that record. That's a fantastic record. I don't know why that happened.
Could you
I'm
talk
trying to
to
wipe.
Pearl?
Sorry, I'm trying to wipe this. I'm trying to find out why that happened. I've got the CD out, and I'm not going to put it in
No,
again.
don't
but
do that with your rough jumper.
It's not my rough jumper.
Yeah, but it's a,
Lamb's wool.
No,
Lamb's wool.
Ken's got a thing.
So I believe, but I'm just
No,
using.
Ken's
this.
got a wee scurly round thing.
I must apologise for that. I mean, I'm sure there were people enjoying that record.
Have
I
you
was,
not seen it?
Just stop talking about
No, have you-
Ken's thing.
No, it's for you.
Is it for me?
Yes, it's for you.
A thing for
It's
me?
For us. When your CD's faulty,
Yes.
you put it in this little round disc, and it's got a little handle on it, and you turn it round, and it takes
got-
all the gunge and all the horrible stuff off your CD.
Like a thing for making mints.
It's like a CD player, a CD cleaner.
Why was I not told about this? Where is it? Is it here?
There should be one in there, and then Ken's got a little bottle of solution
I see.
that you squirt onto it.
Really? Why am I not told this stuff?
We've had that. We've had
I just come in here and sit down and do the best I can. When things don't work, nobody tells me anything. Everybody goes away and say you shouldn't have done that. And then suddenly you're here to tell me it's a thing that can avoid that kind of thing.
Had it years.
I should have known. Years?
Years. Yeah.
It's not a new thing then?
Yeah.
I'm very upset.
Do you remember the thing we had for cleaning the vinyl records? Remember the big
The little
black
sponge thing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that moved on from that.
Well, that was always sitting there. You could always see it, but this thing is never. I've never seen it. Anyway, I apologise to people.
Pearl.
Will you stop a minute? I'm trying to tell the people what that record was. It was Robert Earl Keane. It's a live performance of a song called "The Road Goes On Forever," and it's live at the Ryman. That stopped at a very interesting point there. I'm sorry about that, but that's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. There is a better one than that. If anyone can find a better one than that, please send it to me. And a gentleman has promised to send it to me. He says he's got it, but I haven't got it yet. Tell him to hurry up and get his finger out, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And here's a little praise for the BBC, which I think is long overdue. You know, we in the BBC get so much abuse. Gerry, the people of Northern Ireland must thank the BBC weather presenters for their accurate forecasts that we're experiencing. I always get my hay made to perfection every summer, thanks to Angie, Cecilia and Barra for all their good work from Callagilly, strange name, from County Antrim. And there are some other messages here. You may know it's John Lennon's 30th birthday today. Sorry, 30th anniversary of his death. And could you please play a tune? Yes, I certainly will. Do you remember this day? It doesn't seem like 30 years ago. Where were you? Do you remember where you were when somebody told you?
I'm going to
John
say that's one of the events that I don't remember. I don't remember where I was. You know, I remember hearing where I was when I heard Elvis had died, and I remember where I was Kennedy. But John Lennon, I don't know where.
Where were you when you heard Hitler had died? No. Do you know what I always find? And this is the very strange thing, and I think that tells you a lot about me. Nearly all the significant events, such as the hearing when people died, and you try and remember where you were, 9 times out of 10, I was in bed.
Yeah, well, where were you when you heard Lennon?
bed.
In bed. But yeah, as I say, I don't remember.
And Kennedy, bed. A couple of them. There's a couple of other ones were quite sad, and I don't want to mention them because it's in a kind of a light-hearted way.
Yes.
But significant milestones. I've always been in bed, and I always think about it that a while back I seemed to spend nearly all my time in bed. It's only in this last 5 or 10 years, I've started to get up. Remember, I used to take a nap in the afternoon. I went through a period when I thought I wasn't getting enough sleep. I used to sleep about 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon. And I suddenly realised that, why he's up. So I stopped doing that.
Would you not sleep after your dinner?
Not at all.
I do.
I've stopped doing all that. No, I used to do all that. I was doing all that when I was younger. But I suddenly realised, I don't do it anyway. I never sleep at all now, except at night when I go to bed. I go to bed at 7, though.
I go to bed with Noel Thompson.
Do you?
Yeah, I not to bed. I go to sleep on the settee with Noel.
At 6:30? You're asleep at 6:30?
Oh, I put Noel on and then I go on and the eyes just close.
Noel was on here the other day. I'm surprised you kept awake. Sean, tell Gerry to stop advertising for BT with that first song he played, Tut Tut Tut. That's Cal from Antrim must have shares in the BBC. That is indeed from a BT ad, but it's good in itself. That I've Been Everywhere. It's by a band called Keep It Cash. Sean, why are people saying Sean? It's Mark here. You said you used a kettle on your car to de-ice it. Mm-hmm. Never use boiling water to ice it. A car will crack.
I never use boiling water. Use
people.
Lukewarm water.
Rathfriland Outdoor Pursuits Club would like to inform listeners that the skiing competition on Saturday the 11th of December has been cancelled due to adverse weather conditions. Is that serious?
I don't know. You got it.
I'll read that again. Rathfriland Outdoor Pursuits Club would like to inform listeners that the skiing competition on Saturday the 11th of December has been cancelled due to adverse weather conditions.
I'm reading now. Do you think that's...
Well, it came... I'm reading it in good faith.
Have you a telephone number there? I'll ring it.
I have, yeah, ring that number. Yeah, there it is there. Look.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Ring the number.
Okay.
Castigate them. Gerry, please play The Lost Dogs, Love and No Cigar. Thank you. I will do that. I'm going to play something by John Lennon, though, because you can't let that 30th anniversary of his death go past without commemoration. What about that Coronation Street crap going on this week? What a way to spend 50 years. Have you been watching it?
No.
Oh, I've been watching it.
They all killed.
They don't know yet who's dead. I think it all depends on how well they negotiate their contracts.
Did a train crash into the Rover's Return?
No, the place where they're having their big stag party seemed to blow up for no apparent reason, and a train crashed into it. Oh. It was all very kind of...
What about Ken? Is he all right?
I think Ken might well be all right. Do you remember Ken? I remember interviewing him on television one time. Very, very... Do you remember him?
I remember talking to him a few months ago here in Radio Foyle.
He's a very nice person.
A very nice gentleman.
Ken Barlow, Ken Loach, and what's his name? Richard Roach, not Sticky Rock. What's his name? William Roach. William. He's a very, very nice person, very genuine person, and a man who's genuinely grateful for getting 50 years' work out of Coronation Street.
But you know what I noticed?
Years.
You know what I noticed about William Roach?
Yes.
How well he looks. It's not just
the hair.
What you see on the TV and you think, oh, this is a guy with the old makeup and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But you see him when you're standing talking to him. Mm-hmm. He looks amazing for his age.
Great. It's the hair.
He's got a great head of hair.
He's got a great head of hair.
That's not fair. You should get your hair...
I know, I'm getting more hair.
Do. Get more
because
hair.
When I see people like William Roach, I say to myself, all you need is hair.
Yeah.
All you need is hair. Hair. Hair is all you need. Tell Sean to mind his language. He talked earlier about somebody being a bar steward. Did you?
I probably did say the bar steward. What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I came out of work this morning as I proceeded to do the penguin walk on the snowy pavement. Everybody's doing the penguin walk these days. Isn't it great? As I proceeded to do the penguin walk, I saw a man walking towards me. Our eyes met and I said, "You could land on your backside very handy." He replied, "You could land on your hip right enough." Obviously a Presbyterian.
Pearls on one. Pearl.
Can you send me all the... Will you stop? I'm having crack here. You not see me enjoying myself. I like reading all the things from the listeners. Can you send me all the details of that particular version of this song, said Sambo. I don't think it's his real name. The road goes on forever. It would be an absolute cracker to start the party just after the countdown on New Year's Eve. Wouldn't it be? Yeah, wouldn't it be? And
she has a washing in.
Pardon?
She has a washing. Is that what it is? She has load-in. She's a load-in.
What are you talking about?
Pearl.
13 minutes.
Pearl, she's got a load in her washing machine or something.
She's got a load on? Take a load off Fanny?
Pearl, she's waiting to do her washing.
Oh, you mean she's on the phone?
Yes.
Why didn't you say that? Hello, good morning, Pearl.
Good morning, Gerry.
I believe you've got a load in. You've got a radio on as well. Could you put it off, Pearl, because I can hear myself twice? Hello?
That do?
Oh, that's far better because every time I spoke... That's great. Every time I spoke, I could hear myself coming back. Hello? Can you hear me?
Palmer, what on earth?
Can you hear me?
Of what we're listening to. What are we listening to?
Oh, Lord.
What is that? What is that? What is that? Hold on a second. There's some kind of...
Somebody has taken our line in the studio next door.
Sorry about that.
Taken our line.
Pearl, I'm sorry. Somebody's taken our line here. Go ahead and snap that man on the wrist.
Yeah. Okay.
God's sake. We'll try and sort this out. Pearl, we'll get back to you in a moment.
inside the man. Please remember, my life is in your hands. And woman, hold me close to your heart. However distant, don't keep us apart. After all, it is written in the stars. Well, well, do-do-do-do-do. Well, well, do-do-do-do-do. Woman, please let me explain. I never meant to cause you sorrow or pain. So let me tell you again and again and again. I love you. Yeah, yeah. Now and forever. I love you. Yeah, yeah. Now and forever. I love you. Yeah, yeah. Now and forever.
That's a young guitar player called Owen Johnson, who plays with a band called Circadian, who I play here on a regular basis, and he dabbles away at little kind of Irish traditional music, come rock and roll type instrumentals. That's good, that, isn't it? And that's a track called, I think he wrote that himself, called Connacht Reel, Teconnaught, To Hell or Connacht, Connacht Reel. And there's two other tracks in that. And anyone's interested in what he's doing, you can download this. And there's a website, www.owenjohnson.bandcamp.com. Did you get that sorted out there?
Pear's been waiting on you 20 minutes.
I know, but I tried to talk to her, but a strange voice came on saying strange things.
Yeah, but try...
Pearl?
Hello.
Pearl, I'm sorry about that. A third person joined us, announced to everyone.
I sat and listened to an art programme about the Turner Art Prize, etc., etc.
You and I are alone together now.
Yeah. Can I just say, maybe it was that loud music you were playing just before it that went went on and on.
Could have been that, yeah. Sometimes
it
it throws the
affected my
people.
tinnitus.
Have you got tinnitus?
I've had it for years and years.
Have you really? It's a terrible thing. I have a little
I
trouble with it
know, it
myself.
drives me mad at times.
Is yours bad, is it?
It's bad. It's because of I've got artificial knee, artificial hip, and apparently it's painkillers that causes it over the years. That's what
I never knew that. A lot of young people are getting tinnitus now, of course,
well,
because
there
of
you go.
they spend a lot of time in discos and stuff.
Aye, I would imagine so.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
good.
what I was phoning about, Gerry,
Yeah.
I listen to you every day as well, you know. I could talk to you for hours, but I know you're running short now, and other folk want to hear you. All keyed up for Daniel. He was in Glasgow. He used to be in Glasgow tonight.
Glasgow? Is that where you are? You're in Glasgow?
No, I'm in the Isle of Bute. I've spoken to you before.
Of course, yeah.
Many things I could talk to you about. And my husband used to be a shepherd, I think I told you about things like that. And I live away out in the country. We've got green grass here, by the way.
What?
The grass is green. There's a small skim in the snow.
Yes.
And it's all frozen over. Surrounded with cattle in the fields and they're slithering about.
Yeah.
But the hill across from my window, the sun's shining in and it's black, but just a skim on it. Roads are very tricky. I haven't been able to get out for 2 weeks. I live 7 miles from our small town.
2 weeks?
But I'm not so bad. My son and my daughter-in-law, they brought me out some shopping there at the other end island. And anyway, we're surviving. But when I listen to all the snow, but going back to Daniel, maybe a lot of people don't know, I got phone calls from different parts of the island last night.
Yes.
Did I know? Because Daniel and I are quite close. I've been going for a long while. And anyway, I was getting calls to ask me, is it true that the show was cancelled?
Yes.
I was to come up from Blackpool last night on his tour to Glasgow tonight and to be on his TV. But it is cancelled.
Does Daniel ring you?
No, Daniel didn't ring me this time. This was a farmer's wife away at the opposite end of the island. 6 of them were going. And so, anyway, it's in case others don't know about it.
That's
and
okay.
are listening into it. I know he's due to do his tour in Ireland. He'll be going down your way as well.
Down our way. So people go from the Isle of Bute to go and see Daniel in Glasgow?
Of course we do. Go to a lot more. I've been to Dunlow before now.
Can you fly from there?
No, I drove there. I'd never been through a set of traffic lights till I got to Largs in Ayrshire. And I was 55 and I passed my test.
Well, obviously the winter must be terribly severe in the Isle of Bute, is it?
Well, one supermarket, the Co-op, and it's empty apparently. I was always used to being away up a glen in my young days when my husband was a shepherd, you know, high ground.
Yeah.
And you always had a bag of oatmeal and everything like that. You know, there was no baking machines. You baked in the range and that sort of thing. We never starved.
Oh.
And
I bet you're as healthy as a trout, are you?
well, I'm 80 now, so I can't quite say that. And I'm on my own, but I still do my own garden and everything, you know. But I've got a very interesting family. They've all done exceptionally well. I lost my husband 31 years ago from a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And the night Maggie Thatcher went to power, maybe that was a shock.
Oh,
But
destroyed
anyway,
him, yeah.
No, and I've heard you talking about Greenpeace a lot,
Yes.
the Rainbow Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I was always dying to mention this, and I don't know if I'm doing right or wrong, but I have a son that was on the Rainbow Warrior.
Is that right?
I've got quite a bit of mail and letters all put away. He's going to do a book later in life.
Oh, a wee bit of secrecy going on there.
I was always wanted to phone to talk to you, but I thought I could never get you and tell you things because I've just put a tape. Eventually, you know, that was blown up.
Yes.
And he was down at the Mararoa Atoll.
Yeah.
And I won't say too much. And
Listen, do you have any stuff written down about that, have you?
I have quite a bit, and I've put an old tape.
When did you send it to me, and I'll look after it?
That's why I was wanting to. I've got a tape in there now to get 2 CDs copied, and I can't get in, and I hope the place that's doing it in the town.
Yeah.
They're not long opened up. The picture stock shop and he's doing copies, and I'm wanting it onto CD, and that was taken out in Antarctica after the Rainbow Warrior was sunk, and it was on a boat called the Sirius.
I'd love to hear that stuff because you know the way it's difficult.
Well, I think it was Channel BBC 4. BBC didn't do it. It might have been BBC 2. Done the film of it.
Yeah, but see, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to talk about those things on the radio.
I'm frightened to talk because he's been with a very well-known aid agency for over 20 years now, and he's a project manager. I had a call from him Sunday, and he's ill with typhoid at the moment.
I'd love to see that stuff that you have. Would you send it to me, and I'll treat it with the utmost confidentiality. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, treat it with the utmost care because it's getting quite fragile now. It's a bit old, you know.
Yeah.
and postcards of the cities and the reason they went down to Antarctica was at the time the oil thing was all coming in. The Russians were coming in to see who was establishing bases, and a boat went down, and the Navy were in the area all round them, not their boat, but nobody was allowed to help that boat. And
there's a whole world. There's a whole world out there that people know nothing about. Listen,
so,
love,
that
will
was
you send that to me? Will you?
I'll get. Who would I send it to, Gerry?
Send it to me. BBC Radio Foyle. That's in Derry, Stoke, London, Derry.
I've got a pen down. Radio Foyle.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got my number. If you ever want to, they've got my number. If you ever wanted to do a private call,
I will.
That'd be better that way.
I will actually. Thank you very much,
I'll get the
Carol.
address properly.
Okay, love.
He's
Thanks a
actually in
lot.
the Philippines. He's been over there for over a year, but it's got a big history behind him.
Okay.
And he said they went to the Antarctic for what was the name of the guy that got blown up again? Raymond.
Oh, I don't know.
The guy
Listen,
got blown up.
give us a. I'll give you a ring and we'll have a wee chat about it.
To you.
All right,
Right,
love.
but I want you to tell if Daniel and his crowd are on the road on the way over. I wish them a safe return.
Well, Daniel always listens to this programme.
Do you think he does?
Yes,
What
he does.
You and Sean do to him.
Yes. No, I'd listen to it in case you might find
I
something to
heard
sue
you
us
the other
for.
morning.
Okay, love. Thank you very much,
Tell
Pearl.
Daniel it was Pearl anyway, and I wish him all the best.
All right, then. Bye.
Isle of Butte.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Lady from the Isle of Butte. Daniel does listen to this programme. I know he does. He's looking for material.
There's another call for you.
To use against us. Curse you, Anderson, says a man. Your story about crossing the traffic lights and subsequent banter with Mr. Coyle distracted me sufficiently to allow for the burning of 8 slices of toast in 2 lots. I've had to open the windies, that's windows, of course, to get rid of the smoke, and I'm now freezing. Worse than that, there's no more bread. I'll now have to brave the frozen streets, thereby risking life and limb. I've already got 2 friends in slings. 3 councilmen are outside my apartment putting up a Christmas tree. Maybe perhaps they'll start clearing the snow when they're finished. Some chance. Anyway, if I go on my arse, I'm going to sue you. That's a gentleman called John. Join the queue. There's someone here. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, who's this?
Hi, Gerry.
Hello.
It's Graham Park in Newton Hamilton here. I have a butcher shop in Newton Hamilton. And I was just wanted to tell the old folk around Newton Hamilton if they can't get out that I'd pick a bit of shopping up to them or anything.
Yes, yes.
Just to let them know if they can't get out and about with the bad weather, you know.
Uh-huh. All right, then. So tell me again what... sorry.
What? Are you working? Graham?
No, listen. What's this man's name? Sorry, what's this man's
Graham,
name?
he wasn't listening to
Graham.
a word you...
Graham.
Surely.
No, Graham, sorry. I apologise. I'll tell you what happened there. Whenever you started talking, a very interesting message flashed up on my screen.
All right,
And
right.
it was a very surprising message, and I read it, and I was quite surprised by it. I can't even read it, but it's very important, and I wasn't listening to you. Could you
I
start
know
that
you're a
again?
busy man. I know you're a
No,
busy man.
sorry. Will you tell me that again? I'm sorry.
No, it's I'm from Newton Hamilton here down in South Armagh, and
Yes.
it's pretty bad weather. And just to let any of the old folk know, or anybody that can't get out and about with the bad weather, that I could do a bit of shopping for them and deliver it out to them if I can.
Will you? Well, that's
Oh,
very,
yeah, I mean,
that's very nice of you. Well, are you able to drive about okay? Are you all right?
Yeah, well, I have a wee van. I can scoot about up round the roads and all. And I have a good friend of mine next door here. He owns a day-to-day shop, and I can do the grocery shopping in there and take a bit of beef up to them if they want.
Okay, then. So anyone in that area, give us a wee ring, 08459. Yeah, 555 678, and we'll pass the number on to you. And you're willing to call down to their homes and see what they want, and then go and get it for them.
You can give me a wee ring, and I'll get them
Aye.
sorted out if I can.
That'd be better, Gerry. You know, if they ring Graham direct.
That's because you don't want to do
No,
anything.
but what's the point? No, but seriously, what if people ring after 12 o'clock looking for Graham, and we're here and we're not? Our phones aren't.
Well, it all
manned?
depends. Maybe Graham might be embarrassed if I asked him to give his number out on the radio.
Not at all.
See, I always try and avoid that. I always avoid asking people their numbers because they feel as if they should tell you. And then later on, when all the crazy start ringing them, they regret it. So you don't mind giving your number?
Not at all. So there's more than crazy people up around here. Never mind anywhere else.
Okay, go ahead. What's your number?
It's 028
028
30
30
879
879
022.
028 30 879 022. And what's the area again you're prepared to service? Am I using what?
Newtown Hamilton and the surrounding area.
Newton Hamilton, round there. Anyone having a bit of trouble getting what they need to survive or foraging for supplies, this man is prepared to help, and the number is 0230 879 022. Thank you very much. That's a very generous offer. And If more people did that, nobody have any trouble at all.
Here, where are you buying your turkey the year? You come down and buy it off me.
I'm getting my turkey in Dungiven.
Yes.
That's the only place to get a turkey. Just buy the square turkeys. They're walking about yet. They haven't slaughtered yet. They're slaughtering them soon. They're walking about yet.
There's no need to cut their throats the year. They're slipping that ice and break their necks.
The roads are littered with turkeys with their legs in the air. All right, thank you very much for that offer.
Right, good luck to you, bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye. Good luck to you, bye. I like that.
I got this text from you today, and this is what it read. Baby, I miss you, I need you. It said, I've always loved your messages, whatever they may be. But I knew this special message just wasn't meant for me. It read, please baby, text me back, I'm here on my own. I'm keeping myself for you. Without you, I'm alone. You see, I just left for work and turned our front door key. And this is how I know it wasn't meant for me. This was the sweetest message I ever got from you. Only to find it wasn't meant for me. This wonderful, sweet message that I ever got from you. But baby, I knew it wasn't meant for me. In my heart, I always knew I didn't fill her place. And when you told me you loved me, it missed that warm embrace. In answer to your message, I will miss you too. Goodbye, my dear, I loved you. On your own, your wish come true. This was the sweetest message I ever got from you. Only to find it wasn't meant for me. This wonderful, sweet message that I ever got from you. But baby, I knew it wasn't meant for me. This was the sweetest message I ever got from you. Only to find it wasn't meant for me. This wonderful, sweet message that I ever got from you. But baby, I knew it wasn't meant for me. But baby, I just knew it wasn't meant for me.
That's Linda Welby, a song called It Wasn't Meant For Me, the texting song. That's from her new album, which is called, that's a collection actually, it's called The Best of Times. Some messages here. I was laughing at the ski thing being cancelled because of the adverse weather. I think that might be genuine enough, you know, because has anyone rang up to say that it was a hoax?
No.
It reminded me of when I lived in Alice Springs. They have an annual boat race in the Todd River known as the Henley on Todd Regatta, which has to be cancelled if the river is flowing. The Todd is bone dry the majority of the time, so the annual boat race involves canoes, boats, baths, or any other floating contraption with the bottom cut out, and the contestants run down the riverbed carrying their canoe with their legs out the bottom.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? What a great thing that would be.
Graham said Newtown Hamilton, and you says, oh yes, up Newton Hamilton. But
Yes.
you know, we do that. We would say Newton Hamilton.
Yes. What do people say down
Well,
there?
Graham says Newtown Hamilton.
That's fussy.
Why is it?
You see Newton Hamilton.
Well,
Newton
right.
Hamilton.
I want to ask you this.
Newton Stewart.
Right, you
Newton
work
Hamilton.
You work in Strabane.
Yes.
There's a street in Strabane.
Yes.
And I think it's called Newtown End Street or something like that. Are you familiar with that street?
No, I'm not. I think you made that up.
I did not.
I don't know any street called
Is it
that.
pronounced Newton End Street or is it Newtown End Street?
Somebody has stole the bag of birdseed.
Where?
In the reception here in Radio 5.
Never.
Look, I've been told this again.
What do you mean stole it?
Stole it.
It's
missing.
misplaced.
Well, Ken's accused me of stealing the radio. He thinks I stole the bird seed as well. I'm trying to do some research on the old song Crappie Boy. I know there are 2 versions, but took him... Oh, no, stop that musical talk. You're Playing Woman, says Michelle, by John Lennon, brought me back. My sister was heartbroken when Elvis Presley died in 1977. To be on the safe side, she then divided her teenage crush between Peter Sellers and John Lennon. They both died in 1980. That's all those people who died, and I was in bed every single time they died. Every single time.
Every time they died, you were
Every
in
time
bed.
they died, I was in bed. I believe...
What about David?
Sorry?
Sorry.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Jack.
A pinball wizard. Sorry about that. I'm starting to disassociate myself from reality. What can we do for you today?
I was on with you there a month ago about the Horace Hawk had went missing.
The what?
The Horace Hawk.
Oh, yes, the Horace Hawk, yes.
I've actually got it yesterday. There was a young girl that had actually caught it. She had closed it in a shed beside her hen house yesterday, just outside Newton Ards.
After all this time, you got it back?
Yes, that's about a month now she had been out.
It just goes to show you a Horace Hawk can look after itself.
Yeah. So I would like to thank yourself, Mr. Anderson, and the show and all of your listeners for ringing me to let me know where the bird was and stuff, you know.
That's great. How long was it in the shed?
The girl had just actually seen it when she had rang me, and she took a bit of meat and threw the meat into the shed, and it went into the shed after the bit of meat. So she closed the door on it, which made it very handy for the catch.
Yes, and the hens are next door.
The hens was next door, so...
I bet you they had an anxious moment.
Well, it was just like me, are you going to Kentucky? So, no, I'm delighted to get the bird back.
That's great.
Took it out here to the vets to get her vetted, and I would like to thank yourselves and all your viewers, and the Newton Ards Chronicle, if I could thank them, and the vet out at Malile. Everybody had bent over backwards to look for this bird for me, so thank you very much.
That's great, because a lot of people did take an interest in that, and we got a lot of sightings of various buzzards and various strange birds.
Yes.
People don't really know. They can't tell the difference between a hawk and some other birds. Or there's another. Is it kites or something like that? Nobody calls it.
There is. We have red kites here now as well.
Well, see, people were saying, hold on a minute. It actually was good because it made people study these birds, you know, because sometimes birds are flying about, you don't look at them. And, but if you have a reason to look at them, you start to notice all the differences in them, and you start to notice how they behave, and then you take an interest in them.
Yes. Okay, Gerry, thank you.
Could I ask a question? Was it any worse for wear? Did it lose weight, or did it look after itself, out in the wild for the first time?
She's looked after herself very well, but she has a leg that sort of has swelled up. That's why I have her at Clare Ferris here, the vet at Malile. We've given her an antibiotic to try to take the swelling down on the leg a bit, you know.
Okay. Well, when you went into the barn, David, had you any bother catching her? Did she
no,
recognise you?
no.
Did it come down to you right away?
She was actually on the ground, and when I put my hand in, she just stepped onto the glove. That was it.
That was good. That's good.
Thank you very much anyway.
No, thank you.
Say, you've been more than a help to me. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. It was an interesting time. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you again. Bye.
Isn't that good?
May's on too.
Yes. Morning, Gerry. I heard a great folk singer on BBC Breaky, Kate Rusby. She has an amazing voice. Could you play something by her? I've been playing her for years. For God's sake, you're not listening. Anderson, what kind of a ramshackle of a programme are you running here? I'm heartily sick of corresponding and condescending upon your bad nature to play a request. You never do. I play my licence. If it weren't for people like me, you'd be busking. For God's sake, oblige us.
What does he want?
Doesn't say. Must think I'm some kind of clairvoyant. Reference man from Craigavon looking for piano for sale. Piano accordion for sale. I have one I'd be willing to sell. There's a man in the Craigavon area. Selling his piano. Would you do me a big favour? Would you get Turkey Neck in Belfast on Friday? Would you get rid of this library? Oh, right. That makes no sense. A lot of these people, all these texts make no sense whatsoever.
I know. See, they make sense at the time of sending.
Yeah, but they don't.
To them,
you should read these things before you send them.
I want to see some of the ones I get.
Please say hello to my sister Rosaline in Strabane, Martin and Gladys in Southend-on-Sea. There we go. It's always a good thing to play a request. Could you please ask on the radio if anyone lost a small white puppy in the Moneystagan forest outside Clady on last Saturday? It was found wandering about on its own with no one with it. Alone with no one with it. And there's various other insulting ones, which I won't read. It's difficult, because I have to vet these as you read them.
Yeah.
Because some of them are evil and filthy. And you can actually sometimes start one and see that at the end you're not going there. And you have to try and wiggle your way out of it. You almost have to be a kind of an instant editor. And it's difficult but if you had people working for you, people would do these things for you and send you in things with things scored out. But you just sit there and stare at me.
Yes.
You're very good at just sitting and staring at me.
Yes.
And here's a gentleman who's writing about something. I'm not quite sure if it's anything to do with the current snap of weather. He said, it's Adam. I believe competitive spirit, ruthlessness is to be encouraged in the young. Well, it was with me, culminating in my cheating in the 11 plus, undetected, always commended, and cheating in most of the football matches I ever played in, not always undetected. However, time and tide waits for no man. Well, it didn't for the 50-something man I just encountered in the gym. You've met me, and can attest to my broad shoulders, Brian O'Driscoll-style huge gluteus maximus. In short, especially after a night of Heineken and Hennessy brandy, I prowl the gym exuding the aura and menace of a middle-aged Spanish fighting bull. So why did this 50-something architect/accountant weighing about 8 stone attempt to outdo me on the rowing machine when he was sailing perilously close to a coronary? Whilst I was rhythmic and smooth, this berserker was wailing and thrashing, arms and legs totally out of sync like a deranged octopus beating a lambeg drum after a bottle of Buckfast and Stormont. His head lolled this way and that, and the face turned postbox red. And for what? He still stuck the hind tit. Perhaps he was a masochist. Perhaps he was an advocate of Napoleon Bonaparte, and his death only comes from lack of challenges. Or perhaps he'd rather perish bodily than spiritually, commonly called golf. Lesson 2 to follow tomorrow. Adam's not well.
No, you're right. What about May?
Where is she?
2.
Good morning, May.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Is the weather affecting you at all?
Well, it is quite severe, Gerry, where we are, but we're doing our best.
All right,
and
then.
What I'm on for, Gerry, is to say that our fundraising auction tonight is definitely still on.
Where is that now?
It's in Mollusk Orange Hall on the Mollusk Road. And it's a fun evening, but there's also a very serious side to it as well, Gerry.
Yes.
We're having fancy dress for the dogs and their owners. We're having fun and games. We will be having musical newspapers.
Musical newspapers, yes.
It's like musical chairs, only you walk with your dog. And then when the music stops, you have to get onto your newspaper.
Right.
We'll be having all that. But the main thing of the evening, Gerry, is to raise funds for Karen Hamill.
Who's Karen Hamill?
Now, Karen Hamill is a young girl. Her mother, Marie, is a judge. She's a dog judge.
Yes.
They live in Dublin. And Karen was on a year out, Gerry, and she was in Australia.
Yeah.
And she was on her way home back to Dublin when she suddenly took ill.
Oh.
And they got her into a hospital in Vietnam. They put her into an induced coma because she had swelling of the brain.
Was that deep vein syndrome thing for any?
It's encephalitis, Gerry.
Encephalitis. I'm sorry. Yes, that's a different thing entirely.
It is a very costly thing. She is in intensive care. Her mother has flown out to be with her, and the dog people are rallying round Gerry to do what they can.
Did she have previous trouble with that? I mean, had that been diagnosed before she went?
No, Gerry. This is completely out of the blue.
Oh my God.
And you can guess what this is like. She's at the other side of the world as far as her family's concerned. And we really want to do what we can to help them.
Can you imagine
now,
that being
we have our auction tonight, and a good friend of yours is doing the auction.
Who's that?
Paddy O'Flaherty.
Oh, good. Good man, Paddy. Yeah.
So he is doing the auction. He's the auctioneer. He has sung the song many times, but I believe funny, this is his first time being an auctioneer.
I didn't realise Paddy did. Give me $5 bill or no? Give me the $5. Give me the $5 bill.
Yes,
now.
he has sung that song many times, but he is the auctioneer tonight.
All right.
And we have some really great prizes, Gerry. But everybody has been so generous to us.
All right,
and
then.
all we need now is the people through the door.
So where is it again?
It's in Mollusk Orange Hall, Mollusk Road, just up a little bit from the big Wilson's car auction.
Okay.
Same side of the road, and it's kicking off with all this fun and merriment at 7:30. And then we're going into the auction.
Okay, but I urge people to go along and do something constructive, do something good for that poor girl.
Thank you very much,
All right,
Gerry,
love,
for
okay.
letting me on.
Not at all, it's a pleasure, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. I used to be able to do that auctioneer song.
What's that song?
Give me $5 bill or now, give me another $5, give me $5 bill or now, who's going to give me that, who's going to give me a dollar bill?
It's all right. Could you play something for Christopher Boyle? It's Christopher's birthday today. Lots of love from his mammy and from his brothers and sisters.
This is for him.
Christopher
Boyle.
It's a long way to temporary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to temporary. It's the sweetest place I know. Long way to temporary. It's a long, long way to go. It's a long, long way to temporary. It's the sweetest place I know. Johnny rode a pony with a bell on his neck. Johnny rode a pony with a bell on his neck. Goodbye, my pickaninny. It's goodbye, I'm gone. It's goodbye, my pickaninny. Goodbye, my little live. It's a long, long way to temporary. It's the sweetest place I know. It's goodbye, oh now soda. It's goodbye, I'm gone. It's goodbye, oh now soda. It's the sweetest place I know. Goodbye, oh now soda. Goodbye, oh rockin' ride. There's none in California. Never soda done gone by. Johnny rode a pony with a bell on his neck. Johnny rode a pony with a bell on his neck. Long way to temporary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to temporary. It's the sweetest place I know. Goodbye, my pickaninny. Goodbye, my little dear. It's a long, long way to temporary. It's the sweetest place I know.
That's a curio, isn't it? That's an old-time Texas guitarist and singer called Mance Lipscomb. I heard of him some time ago, and it's unusual. It's all out of tune and everything, but there's something nice about it, isn't there? That's a song called, of course, Long Way to Tipperary. That's nearly all we have time for today. John Clancy's, he has a bookshop there in Belfast. He says, Wilfred Owens wrote a book called Twilight of the Gods. I have a copy signed by John Lennon. Hey, I bet you that's worth a few quid. And I've also got a Victorian Poe, which is also called a commode, for Stephen Kelly yesterday. I'm sure he was terribly pleased at that. He wanted a Poe and he got a commode. How good can life get? Don't forget you can still write to this programme. You can write to me, Gerry Anderson, care of BBC Radio Foyle, 8 Northland Road, Derry, Londonderry, on the old snail mail. Back tomorrow.